But first, we got some news to talk about. We're going to start off with the rare spring training good news. Yordan Alvarez reported to camp, no longer feeling any pain in that injured ankle.
No, that's always great news. You're always expecting the other ankle to drop, so to speak.
Yes.
But listen, he's been at a good price at a nice discount. I mean, this is a guy that is a perennial second rounder. You know that, arguably one of the best left-handed sluggers in the game, if not the. And you just know if he puts it all together, he gets it done without the stolen bases. Like, he will give you first round value if you're getting those 600 plate appearances. But that is rare because he is always injured. He's now been kind of in the 40s, I think early 40s for most of the winter. That price is moving up already in the online championship. And then anytime you get news like that, a player with that type of upside, like league winning upside, is somebody that people are going to want to raise.
Right. I think you're right about that. And I think that's it's a guy that I'm struggling with a little bit there because, a great year from Yordan Alvarez. You're getting high average and power together there, but perfect year. It seems like it's harder to get. And now he's UT only. Mm-hmm. And the Astros lineup around him isn't as good either. So I think the counting stats might be a little lower than they might have been in previous years too.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah. So far, I'm not ending up with the Alvarez. Maybe also because I took him at the turn in the main last year and passed on Tatis and blabbed about it for a long time. That maybe I'm kind of, I'm scarred from that one just a little bit.
It's a real thing. It doesn't matter who we are. Even the best players, I think, have a little bit of that, right? It's the, hey, this guy burned me last year. Some of us lean back into that, right? Sometimes we double down. I know I've got late round guys that were late round guys for me last year that I thought were going to work to pan out. And when I'm analyzing them this year, I'm curious, like stepping back, like, am I liking some of them again because I am psychologically doubling down and I want to be right? Or was I just
right.
early, things like that.
I've always taught that the spectrum is always never again, Chicken Little like myself, or he owes me, like Chris Liss would always say, and
That's
it's
right.
just,
Personal.
The thing is, like, and it should be neither. It should be dispassionate, but it should be research into the player and figuring out, okay, this is where he slots, and none of that matters. But hey, we're not automatons, we're not robots, so
no.
There's
only one.
Yes, exactly. The robot. There is only one, the robot, and James Anderson had him on a couple of weeks ago. We're talking about Phil Dussault, of course. Fantastic player and a fantastic human. We like him, even though he is a robot. He's
a fantastic robot.
Yes, he's a very good robot. We like him. All right, let's move on. Zack Gallen signs with the Diamondbacks, same amount as he would have gotten if he just had taken the qualifying offer. So all that rigmarole for nothing. I'm lukewarm on Zack Gallen. 31 homers allowed last year. I think I'm lukewarm on the Diamondbacks as a whole, to be honest with you. I don't like what their offseason has done for them. I think they might fall back another step.
Not only am I not lukewarm, I'm, just ice cold on them in general. And there really isn't much to like there. I think there are opportunities to take shots on some light round guys that can probably provide you a lot of fantasy profit. But for the most part, the pitching staff is horrendous. If they think that Paul Sewald's going to come and fix things up in the back end, they'll be unfortunately sadly mistaken. And the lineup is just horrendous. And you hope Corbin Carroll gets back and everything is fine. But for the most part, it seems like a pretty strong fade. Zack Gallen for me, I would love to see him bounce back. He's one of those in-season volatile guys. You just don't know what you're going to get from him ratio-wise. And I don't know. It might just be that his best years are behind him. There does come a point where got to consider it. Like if he's going in the 230s now, and you're looking at some of the pitchers in that range, at some point, if you have kind of maybe a younger build, you may want to grab a starting pitcher, somebody like Zack Gallen there in the back end. But again, it's dicey.
So, and the problem with him is this four-seamer got worked pretty good last year, and that fueled that home run rate. What is he? They said he wanted to try to use his cutter more, but it didn't really work. They had kind of negative results on that as well. So, like, what's next? What's the plan here? This is 2 years in a row with a whip at 126. That's for at least he's not costing you SP1, SP2, SP3 prices anymore. So maybe that whip is more acceptable. But I fear without the volume, where do the Ks aren't as
Mhm.
strong as they used to be. K percentage was 21.5 last year. It's a big drop from the year before. And of course, the home run rate is being what it is.
Mhm.
Fly ball rate's is pretty high too. And it's all in all, there's a lot of negative indicators, and I'm having a hard time steering around that.
Yeah, I think there was a rumor. I was almost certain. I didn't see Passan post about it, so I figured it wasn't happening. There was a Gallen to the Padres, and that would be an opportunity where there would be some hope. And then with the Angels, with the Diamondbacks, it's just it's not the ideal park for pitchers. Gallen was a little better in the second half. He pulled his ERA under 4.
Mm-hmm.
And there were some positive signs. I don't think his season's going to be as bad as last year. I think if you think he's going to get a 5+ ERA again, he's just an absolute do not draft. But I do think that he can get the ERA to around 4.
Yeah. Question in the forum by Uncle Ted asking what was their home road splits last year. 456 at home, 511 on the road. He was actually worse on the road. Arizona is not the extreme hitters park that it used to be. Ever since the introduction of the humidor, it's more neutral than people realize. It's had this long reputation of being a hitter's park, and it's not necessarily true. In fact, each of the last 3 years, Gallen has been much better in Arizona than he has been on the road. 2023, 442 ERA on the road, 247 at home. 2024, 336, 402. Last year, 456, 511. You notice a trend here, though, too, and that's the negative part. But, Arizona, their rotation, too. They have a whole lot of pitchers like Gallen, especially with until Corbin Burns comes back. Merrill Kelly's fine. I don't mind rostering him. I don't mind rostering Ryan Nelson in places. But Fott's coming off a terrible year. Erod's coming off injuries and mixed performance. And they signed Michael Soroka, who was healthy for about 12 days last year.
That's right. And Merrill Kelly, he's been incredibly solid over the last few seasons, but he's almost as old as us.
Yeah. He also has come back from thoracic outlet syndrome. So inspiration is Zach Wheeler maybe at some point in time, but I do like Merrill Kelly, and hey, I don't mind Arizona signing him back. I thought he provides a little stability to that rotation. Last news item I want to hit before we start going in our main topic. The Orioles signed Chris Bassitt. He talk about a guy that's stability, adds innings. He's not, number 1, number 2 for them. Shouldn't be at least, but he's, they have a lot of volatile pieces in that rotation. He provides some stability.
Yeah. He's an absolute horse. This is a guy that has basically averaged 31 starts over the last 4 seasons. And these are his ages, like 32 to 36 years. And, he got off to an incredible start last season. And then, the other shoe started to drop a little bit and had some disaster outings. And it's not going to be smooth sailing in Baltimore. I think it's fun when you see somebody like that sign in a place, and it creates a little inspiration to move him up the rankings where he should, right? Because as a free agent, he was hanging out in the 400s, ADP. So I do definitely believe he's more in the 300s range, I guess you could say, the reserve rounds in 15 teamers, maybe at the end of a 12 teamer. But there are going to be some tough days against lefties in that park, I think. But overall, you can, he's at the back end of your fantasy rotation, so you would be able to pick your spots with him.
Yeah. It's interesting to see who's aced out of the rotation with this, though. They were already sneakily. I wanted them to get another starter, and I thought that, I thought that they might be, should have been in and a little bit harder with a couple of the top other remaining free agents before they got to Bassitt. But they go Bradish, then Trevor Rogers, then probably Bassitt. Boz they traded for. So there's a top 4, but then Eflin, Kramer, Wells, Povich. I actually kind of liked Tyler Wells, but it's going to be tough for him to make this rotation now.